Hello, Baltasar. Congratulations on Touch. It's a remarkable film. Now, this story of finding and reconnecting with a lost love is similar to one that your lead, Egill Ólafsson, I hope I pronounced that right, shared with you about his own mother's experience. Can you tell me about that? Was that part of the appeal of the film for him?
Well, he told me actually once we were deep in filming, we started filming, so it wasn't obviously not a part of the kind of the approach, but it just reaffirmed this kind of how big and important this can be, And I know quite a few stories myself, but I just felt it was nice to have the kind of nearness to it. I have, but then again, I have with my parents, I have a very. The beginning of it, they met exactly like Christopher and Miko in a restaurant, totally from two different cultures, and they're still together. That's the only difference. So
there are parallels with the film's story and a real life condition that Egill suffers from himself. I believe he has Parkinson's.
Yes, he has. He's been diagnosed with Parkinson, and I knew that when I approached him. Egill is a kind of legendary character in Iceland, and he's a singer and a songwriter and an actor, and it's been like in the public eye. He's a bit older than me, obviously. So since I remember myself, in films and TV and everything, and he has always been this kind of larger than life character, and a bit of a testosterone bomb, but now as he got older. And also because of his syndrome, his demeanor has changed, and it's a very different Egill that the world is seeing that we are used to, and it was a big departure for him in Iceland, and he's been applauded for that, and I love the kind of the energy and in some way the pain that he had to go through, to do all that is a part of the performance, and it deepens the journey. It's not an easy journey to take when you have that kind of condition, but it was in the book, So for me, I didn't choose him because of that, but I didn't not want to choose him because I said let's rather use it and deepen the journey through it.
I mean, obviously, Parkinson's is a terrible condition to suffer from, but. In terms of casting, did that cause issues or reluctance on part of the financiers to have someone suffering that?
Not at all. Not at all. There was no such conversation I had. I just made it clear that this was the guy I wanted, and of course I am the main producer of the film myself. But with the financiers and the others who participated, there was no such issue. Actually, everyone kind of embraced it and thought it was saw his audition tape and thought it was just another layer to the whole thing, and of course it did create challenges on the financing side because we had to shorten the day, especially in Japan, because he's pretty much on every shot there, and after a certain amount of hours. It's not dangerous in any way because actually it's good for Parkinson people to work and move but it just shuts down. It just doesn't have more energy. So.
Now, I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Palmi
Kormakur, yeah. It's the same name as McCormick, It's an Irish.
So he plays the young Egill's character, Christopher. Now, have I got this right? That Palmi is your son?
Yeah, he is my son. One of three,
So now my understanding is that he's not acted in such a significant role in a film before.
No.
So can you tell me about the audition that he had to do? Because obviously you would know him extremely well.
Yes, but I didn't actually. I thought I knew him better than I did, because when the casting director, I had one Japanese casting director and Icelandic one, Selma Björnsson, came to me after being exhausting, than every actor around, and we just couldn't find quite the right type. A lot of great choices, but not, like ding, that's the one. And she said, "What about your sons?" And I have two sons, three sons actually, but she was talking about the two younger ones. And the younger one had acted quite a bit, and he said, he's not right for it because he's too much of a dude. He's too his energy is wrong. And she said, no, I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the middle one, Palmi. I said, Palmi? well, he doesn't act, you know. It's like, are you sure? Well, he played when I was a kid, he was fine, but, you know, like he did a fine job. It wasn't that, you know, he was just playing my son in a small thing. And I said, but better you asking than me saying no, because it make him do his own choices. And to my surprise, he actually said, yes, I'll do the audition. And I was like, I was surprised, and I asked him, what changed your mind? And he said, I just want to push myself, you know. I shy away from things constantly, you know, and I just wanted to, I push myself and test my limits. So he wasn't there to get the role. He just was testing his limits by going to an audition, to be honest. Because once he got the role, because he surprised everyone, is like, and I started getting calls because I wasn't in the audition. I had Selma do it, you know, without me. And then suddenly I started getting this call from my office. Have you seen the auditions? I was like, what do you mean? And they all were talking about Palmi. So it started it was kind of no turning back, but he wasn't sure he wanted to do it, even though the part it was going to be his. So it kind of was interesting because the dynamic changed, because I thought I was actually in the driving seat. Now he was in the driving seat because I didn't have another choice. And then I did send everyone, you know, and I'm totally being honest about this, Focus, Mike Goodrich from Good Chaos, and the writer. I showed them the tapes of a few of the top choices, you know, without anyone knowing that Palmi was my son. Then he's totally unknown to everyone, you know. And there was the same conclusion on everybody's part. So.
Now, I understand that Palmi is left-handed,
yep.
and Egill is right-handed.
Yeah.
Now, they're both playing the same character, so what was the debate and how did it come to the decision that the character was going to be left-handed rather than right-handed?
Well, of course, I should have shown Egill the respect of letting him run by it, but the reason is Palmi was doing a lot of cooking, you know, and cutting, you know, with a knife. And I couldn't see him train with his right hand for that. And Egill, you know, as in the script, didn't really do much with his hands, you know, like not specifically. And little did I know until I was in a restaurant with Egill in Japan doing the scene with Kutaragi, where it's you know, he's an older actor with Parkinson doing a scene in 3 languages. He's speaking to his daughter in Icelandic, to Kutaragi in Japanese and English, and then not only that, I asked him to eat with chopsticks, and he had to do it with his left hand. So I was like, this is kind of the nastiest thing you can do. You know, I've never put anything more on an actor, but you know, but with good humor, he delivered that, you know, and then he always took it on the chin, you know. But it was an interesting. But I just didn't see that coming, you know.
So finally, then it's a very moving scene towards the end when they do finally reconnect. But the film is a world away from your previous films. You know, Everest, Adrift, Beast, especially, which are all sort of people versus forces of nature, if you like. Will you? And so this is a world away, as I say. But will you be returning to that kind of genre?
Yeah, because I mean I did a lot of Shakespeare when I was younger in theater as a theater director. You know, did Hamlet twice, and you know, Pity Is a Whore, and you know, a lot of these kind of classical plays, and Chekhov. You know, so it's been a part of me, but not so much in the kind of wider market. You know, because of obviously there are not too many of these films are made by the big studios. I will definitely make more of those. You know, definitely, and I hope that there will be more of them coming. You know, on a scale. You know, because it's I would love to make those kind of films that I love myself, and not only love stories, but just stories. You know, with dramatic stories that have, and also I feel like we're missing out a bit on stories. You know, like we used to tell more stories. Now it's all events. You know, but I do think. You know, like I look back to like Burning Mississippi or Witness and this kind of films that, you know, they had entertainment value and so because they are intense and you are invested in them, but also they taught you. I mean, for example, Witness is a weird choice, but I remember when I saw Witness, I never knew anything about Amish people until I saw that. You know, so they take you to places, but they entertain you at the same time. So I feel like, you know, these have been missing a little bit, especially in the film space. You know, so if anyone has a great story, you know, of that kind, I would love to make it, you know. So I would love to do that, but, you know, I do not calculate, and I've kind of gone against this, calculate my career. I try to do it by instinct. I do not want to be, you know, I want it to be organic in a way that I just do what I feel like is something that appeals to me at the time. And it might be to my fault, but I just feel like sometimes when directors tend to start creating their own legacy or whatever, it's just, you know, it's just not interesting to me, you know.